Welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, do I love this topic. It's such a easy thing to understand, to work with and to maneuver and to succeed in life, yet sadly so many of us are not aware of it, and therefore it's causing us so much what's the word I'm looking for? Unnecessary stress. Fear. I'm not going to really tell you first how to avoid it or how to deal with it. What is it? Because so many times we build up anxiety. If it's a psychiatrist that's not willing to spend the time, they quickly write you out a prescription, and there you go, and you're good to go, and now your anxiety is down, your fear is down, and things are good. So many people avoid places, avoid situations, maybe have a drink before they go for it. What is fear? Before I start, right off the bat, fear is actually good. It's actually amazing. It actually keeps us safe. Fear is equivalent to your house. It keeps you safe. I know this sounds insane, but fear actually keeps you safe, and we will talk about it. I don't know if I could squeeze it all into one clip. There's two types of fear. We're only going to discuss today the first type of fear. What fear is, it's a caution mechanism. So if you do something that you're all excited that you want to do and emotionally you're so involved, you can get hurt. You can get hurt. So fear is just there to tell you, be careful, be careful. Sadly, the 1.5-year-old that's so excited about this new talent that they possess, which is walking on their two legs when they could barely crawl or move, and now they can walk. They're so excited exploring the world. They did not develop this mechanism of fear, and therefore we need to be around them all the time. They could just push over a chair to the stove and be very curious and put their hand and burn their hand. Children lack fear. They fall off structures and swings, and because they do not have fear. I know you're all thinking, yeah, but I'm fearful to do the simple things. That's the second type of fear, which we're going to talk about. Here's what to do the fear. Number one is understand. It's just telling you caution, caution, caution. That doesn't mean stop doing it. It just means please be cautious. So for example, I was just watching a YouTube of someone doing their own renovations in their bathroom because they didn't want to renovate for over $10,000. They thought they'll do it alone. This guy is brave, and I love this man because he kept on this clip onto his video, which I would think 90% would take it out, not even mention it happened. But you watch him as he pulls out the vanity from the wall, and there was a very small hole by the pipe, the copper pipe that gives you the supply of water, and he was just pushing it, maneuvering it, and as he pulled it out, tried to pull it out, not only did he not open a bigger hole so he doesn't get close to the copper pipe, not only did he not close the main faucet of the water in the basement, but he pulled it out, the pipe busted. And you see it all in the video, there's water all over the place. And like he himself says in the joke afterwards in the video, if I didn't know till I did this job where my main water faucet was, I got to learn, which means there was a while he had to run around the basement to look for it. And you see water all over the place. That person was lacking fear, overly cautious. And that happened to me so many times. So it's not like this guy made a mistake. I made thousands of mistakes. So the fear balances out the confidence. Sometimes our confidence goes too high and the fear goes like that. So what do we do with the fear? What we do with the fear is we inspect it. So if we try to do something, we go, no, that's too scary. That feeling is awesome, but that doesn't tell me to stop. Other people learned, well, so I'm going to tell you how they learned not to respect that feeling. So they just go ahead and they get in trouble because you were meant to be fearful, you were meant to be cautious. Here comes the middle ground that most people find a very hard time. I think life to most people is a seesaw, or they're on one side or the other side. Life is all about balancing between the two sides because none of them really works for us. You write down, discuss with someone, what is your fear about the new job, about the new place, about the new clothing, whatever it is. First of all, number one is listen to your fear. And then do your homework. So I'm gonna use the first example that came to mind, even though this might not work for you. You want to fix something small at home, but you have fear to do it. So go online and Google, watch the YouTubes, get information. Sometimes you're gonna look at that little tiny thing you want to do at home. You're gonna go, that's it? That's so easy. Or sometimes you're gonna go, oh my gosh, it's so good. I looked it up. I didn't realize about all the precautions. I didn't realize about everything. If it's a trip, I forget the name of this fellow, the famous story, there's so much documentary about him. Bus something, there's a number to the bus, where he left and he went into the woods and he wanted to survive. This happens in the 80s. It's a very deep and long story, but we won't go into it now. So he went basically to the forest in Alaska and he died there. Was he brave? Awesome. No phone, no communication, no anything. Me, last person to judge him. I know exactly, or I think I know exactly why he did it, what he did, and what happened. The bottom line is, it's on my Pinterest page. I have a whole board just about the story, with the documentaries, with the interviews with his sibling or siblings, all about the situation. Today people around the world go to that bus, I forget the number of the bus 3 something, where this young fellow sadly starved to death. He did not listen to his fear. So fear is telling you caution, caution, that's all it's telling you. Now investigate the caution. Let's go to the next step. And this is what I do all the time. Well, not my whole life, but the last few years that I've learned how fear works, because they don't teach us the most important stuff in school, but they teach us the most stupid things that we won't even use 80% of the time. What I tell myself after I do all the investigations, what I tell myself, I don't even have to use a mirror. It's fine. But if you want, you can use a mirror. I say, that's okay that you're fearful. I understand you, and actually I'm very happy that you're fearful. You're always fearful when I do something new, aren't you? I love you because you keep me safe. I love you, fear, because I feel safer on planet Earth. But my dear love, I admire your mission. Now I have to talk to fear as a feeling, not as logic. So I tell fear, logic has got involved, which is another part of your brain, and logic looked into it and realized that there is no immediate danger or anywhere close to danger. There will be a discomfort. It's the first time I'm doing this, but you're going to be totally okay. Now, my dear fear, what I'm telling you is logic. That doesn't mean you stop fearing. You continue fearing. Whenever you have fear, my love, I'll give you a big hug, because your job is to be fearful. But let me tell you something, fear, that I know it's not going to shut down your fear, but you're going to like it. I know, Mr. or Mrs. Fear, you're going to have a smirk on your face in a moment. Do you remember all the other times you were scared when I did something new? Do you remember all the other times when I made this little experiment? When I went to this place, or bought something, or did something that was very new to me? What always happens after we do the new practice a few times? Everyone is different. Sometimes it's a few times. To some people it's 3, to some people it's 30. And as I talk, fear looks at me with a corner of the eye, smiles. I know. But that doesn't give the right that fear should shut down. Only because logically it totally made sense that I have to execute whatever I decided I will execute and do. And that's why I validate fear, I talk to fear, I even give it permission with love to continue to fearing, and then I take action. When I'm done, and the fear is gone in minutes or within hours, I look at fear and I say, I'm not judging you. You see, there's no more fear. But that was your job, and I'm happy that you were fearful till now. Let's conclude of why we're so confused about fear. And I think the main reason is, and I didn't give this a lot of thought, but the first thing that comes to mind is most children, I don't know if it's 95 or 99% of children, are told, maybe even by professionals sometimes, don't be scared, it's fine, it's going to work. We cross logic and emotions. They're two separate worlds, two separate fields. Let's not confuse them. Oh, don't be scared, you're going to be fine. I promise you're going to be fine. I mean, I did it as a kid, you'll do it as a kid. As I said, even professionals, heaven forbid, give this nonsense. To me, it's almost like telling a child that hasn't eaten for 7 hours and we went off schedule and is really starving, saying, Mom, I'm really hungry. And Mom says, don't be hungry. Our pantries and fridges full at home, don't be hungry. What kind of sense does that make? If a person is hungry, they are hungry, regardless if it's your fault or not your fault. Regardless if you'll be eating a meal in 30 seconds, they are still hungry. And most people might even be hungry till after 25 minutes when the food sends the message to the brain that says, okay, which is a talk for itself. If you have a big meal and you're starving, don't eat the whole thing, eat half of it. Wait 25 to 35 minutes and then eat the other half. In most cases, you won't want to even eat the other half, and that's why a lot of us are obese, because we eat very fast. Let's eat half of our meals within 25 minutes, and then we'll decide if we want to finish it. Many times we don't want to finish it. So let me summarize, and next week we'll talk about the second type of fear that's sadly PTSD, and we'll discuss that all, which is fascinating of how to deal with that. Let me just summarize. Logic says go ahead and do it. Logic doesn't care. Logic is aggressive. Logic many times is going to do a decision based on the knowledge that it has, not based on the reality that is. And logic is sometimes too confident. And therefore you have your friend within you. I have a book that I'll be writing about the human 7 managers. We have 7 managers within our brain that manage different parts. Here we're only talking about 2. We're talking about the feeling of fear, and we're talking about logic. So fear comes in. Fear says, whoa, no, not so fast. Not so fast, no, please, no, don't. We're not doing it, no, this is so scary. I'm going to die. No, we can't get, we're not going up there. No, I'm not going to go. No. That's totally fine. Do I ignore it? No. Do I respect it? No. Let's do this one more time. Do I ignore it? No. Do I respect it? No. So what do? Middle ground. Listen to it. Investigate it. You tell logic, we're going to wait for this project or to do this. You tell emotions, well, I thank you very much. I hear your opinion. And now we're going to go face reality. And even as I said before, even after we face reality, then even if we have all the support in the world, not that we need the support in the world, because sometimes you go with your intuition as long as you're safe, you still keep on supporting fear and give it as many ice creams, give it as many hugs and love and appreciate it. I will finish by saying, I love my fear, and I wish I would listen to it many years ago, to all my feelings and to all my thoughts. But again, we were all trained not to, and therefore I didn't. But today, 51 years old, I'm starting to grow up, and I'm starting to learn how to listen, not only to logic, to emotions, but to all 7 managers of our brain. Just like a company has 7 managers or 20 managers, our bodies have more than 2 managers, and that's something I wish would be taught in schools, universities. The world would have been a place of love, tranquility, peace, joy, and happiness. And anxiety would come around from town to town from maybe in a month or so or 3 months, not on an hourly basis that some people sadly need to suffer. Thanks for listening, and have yourself a wonderful and delightful day.